Welcome to Unveiling Grace, a podcast dedicated to finding our own story in the unique stories of the fellow Nazarenes who serve alongside us. I'm Matt Hastings, and I'm a pastor who's been in the Church of the Nazarene all my life. I deeply love the church and all the ways that she's shaped me, and I want us to hear from each other about how the Church of the Nazarene has saved us. In a day and age where there's a lot of line drawing and finger pointing, we want to pull up a chair to the table of our people's past and sit through their stories. Through our guests and the telling of their stories, we will veil the identity of the storyteller until the very end, with the hope that you'll allow their story to shape your view of them rather than what you've heard about them. Thanks for joining me weekly as we invite fellow Nazarenes to tell their story of why they love this church and why they've stayed. Okay, so you learned to drive a car when you were 12 years old?
Yes, I am.
Tell me about that.
Okay, the first time that I drove a car, I was 12. And this is very significant for me because my dad trusts on me. And maybe this was because I was born in a car.
Wait a second. You were born in a car?
Yes. My mom and my dad was, it really was in a taxi.
It was in a taxi?
Yes, because they were going to the hospital, and I couldn't wait.
Too late, yep.
Yes.
You were ready to be out.
Yes.
So you learned to drive at 12? Maybe it was always in you because you were born in a taxi.
Yes, I think.
I think this is a special gift that you have. I mean, that's something I did not know. That's
Yes.
so great.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell me how did your story start with the Church of the Nazarene? How did you get introduced to the Nazarenes?
Yes. This was with marriage retreat. My husband and me went because a friend of us invited us. And when I was there, I liked what I found there. And I see something different that I saw before. And I could feel the love of God in that place and in that occasion.
So it was a marriage retreat. Was it a district event or was it a church event?
Was a church event.
Huh.
Yes. And this was enough to me to try to know more about the Church of Nazarene.
So you saw the people and the way they interacted, and you thought, there's something about them. I want to know more about the Nazarenes.
I saw about the people, but I saw something special in the person who was doing the retreat.
Leading it.
Leading it,
Yeah.
yes. Mm-hmm.
And so then you look into the Nazarenes more, and then you join a church. You begin the journey that way.
The way this was at that time, my husband and my family, we were attending another church, and then we attend the invitation of our friends. Then to another event, and then another event. And this was how we saw something is different here. And we were praying, asking God, because we were...
Yeah, it's difficult because if you're attending church, you're
Yes.
somewhere else, but you are seeming to be connected with these people who keep inviting you to these events.
Yes.
And you eventually said yes and went to a Church of the Nazarene.
Yes, my husband and I said, yes, we need to do the change.
And then you were called to the ministry as a pastor. You are a pastor in the Church of the Nazarene. How did that come about? Was that quickly after joining a church, or was that later?
I think it was before. I think this was in me always, and I didn't know it was a call. And I identify or I noticed that this is a call from God to me when I came to the Nazarene Church.
Yeah.
This was the time when I said, oh, this isn't me. And now I understand this is something that God is calling me to do.
That's remarkable. That typically you hear people say that they were attending somewhere and then later the call comes, but you have known that there was a call. What a beautiful, really for us as a denomination, what a beautiful thing, because one of the the things about us is that we ordain women and we have ordained people from the very beginning. And so you felt a welcome and you stayed. You stayed. I guess you kind of answer the question of why you've stayed, but you've stayed because you believe in what we're doing.
Exactly. In a way, I start to knowing more and more about Nazarene Church. I fallen in love, did fall in love. And I said, I like this.
Yeah.
I love this. And I think God is so good or was so good with me at that time because I was living something in our new church. And at the same time that I feeling this in people around me, I found in this is the root of the Nazarene Church, both together.
Yeah. As you have, um, you knew that you were called to the ministry. You knew you were called to be a pastor. Is there someone in your life that has encouraged you in those times? We all have those times of struggle and frustration, and
Yes.
is there someone that has just been a champion of you over the years that's been an encourager?
Yes, I have somebody who believed in me since the beginning.
Who is that?
My husband.
Oh, your husband has believed in you from the very beginning, cared about showing you that you could say yes to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always believed that the pastor was he,
Mm-hmm.
and I was with him, and that's it. I always see my husband like a pastor, but not. I didn't see myself being a pastor. And then I start to study the Nazarene seminar.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I want to be, I say, well, now I can study. Can I study with you? And say yes. And yes, and I say okay. I need to be sure. Ask to the pastor if I can do that because I didn't know if I can do it. And the pastor said, of course, you can do it. That's the reason why I start to study the seminar. When I start to study the seminar, I didn't do because I wanted to be a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to do it because I wanted to learn more.
Yeah.
And in the way that I was studying and advancing with this, the call is start to be more clear to me in front of me.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And for your husband to have
Yes.
said, yes, I've seen this in you.
Yes.
One of the beautiful things about varying cultures, particularly in the Church of the Nazarene, are the ways that they minister and the things that they seem to excel at. One thing I love about our Hispanic congregations is, regardless of even their size, they seem to be leading in planting churches, starting churches, and I think there's something beautiful that's happening there that that for us, particularly as as someone who's raised as I'm an older white guy, knowing that there's something about this that's beautiful that I should learn from. What is it about the culture that is so healthy, that plants churches, sends leaders out? What is that?
This is because it's like when you, for me, it's like, oh, I know something good. I went to a new restaurant. It is so good, and I want to tell everybody around me. It is the same for the Hispanic culture about the church. This is so good. Please come and see. This is so good. This could be good for you, for your family, for your life. This is, and here you will find something like a beautiful hope for your life. And we feel that needed to tell, to share. I don't want it only by myself. I want to share with everybody.
That is so powerful. The image of something you love, you can't keep to yourself. I have to tell other people.
Yes.
And so the thing that you love to tell other people, what is really our family, as the family of the Church of the Nazarene, what is it about our family that matters to the world? What is it that is important to the world right now?
Very important. Because we can be the place where a person could find peace, hope, because around us, the world is finding problems. Everything is not good outside. And this very person about us, that they see us like a shelter, a place where I can go and be safe with eternal life.
That's beautiful. The church is a refuge,
Yes.
a place of peace,
Yes.
safety. That matters to the world. They need it.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
They need it.
So who are you?
I am Alma Rosa González, pastor of Iglesia del Nazareno Betel Hermitage in Hermitage, Tennessee.
Thanks for being with us.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks for joining us on the Unveiling Grace podcast. This is a ministry of Hermitage Church of the Nazarene. If you'd like to stay up to date on the podcast and other ministries of our church, like the church's Facebook page and follow along. Or you can subscribe to the Unveiling Grace podcast on whatever platform you're using now. If you've enjoyed this podcast, help us out by leaving us a rating and then share it on your social media platforms. Thanks for listening to the stories of those serving alongside us.